Well, hello there, humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and if you're lucky enough indeed to be doing it too, get down, get happy, because it's finally happening. The fireworks are up, humans are kissing in the street, babies are crying with joy, Sparts are gone forever, along with timers, and I can't tell you how much happier I am about the game and the future of the game knowing that this has happened, because, man, I've never had a positive conversation or interaction about spare parts in my entire Blitz career. And I can't think of anyone else out there who has talked to as many humans across as many continents about the game as me. And it has been a universal truth that Sparts are absolutely pants and they are not popular. And yet, it's taken this long, and I never thought it'd happen. I honest to God never thought it'd happen, but it's happened. We've lost them. I'm going to break down for you right now what you should be doing, whether you should be equipping your tanks or not with the spare parts and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to break down why this is such a cool thing for the game, why it's such a cool thing for me personally, and why it's such a great thing for you guys, and talk about a whole bunch of other stuff with relation to Blitz and this whole affair. Turn the music down, Maestro. Turn the music down. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to show you 3 games. I'm going to show you 3 games while I talk about this. One of them is going to be in a waffle tractor. One of them is going to be in a T110E3. And the last one is going to be in a VK3001D. They're in no particular order. They were picked for very specific reasons, though. These are 3 tanks that I gave up and sold because I could not equip them with spare parts, so I decided to never play them. 3 tanks that I never ever got to run with because they didn't have spare parts, and as such they were going to be severely disadvantaged in the arena of Blitz. So I stuck with the tanks that I could afford to put spare parts on, and I played others very, very sparingly indeed. And this has been the story for most of us, right? Let's get down to one basic thing, and I want to put our hats off here for a good amigo of mine, Adam Clamp. Now, Adam crunched some numbers for us, and he basically wanted to break down whether or not it was worth equipping. And he says, "Dear Bushka, in anticipation of an imminent video on this topic," and this is a topic I've been dying to tell people about, by the way. It's great to have an NDA sometimes. Now that the removal of timers and spare parts has been announced, I decided to look at some of the numbers to determine the answers to the question I know a lot of players will be asking themselves. So hats off, Adam. You are one step ahead of the curve. Should I equip my tanks now or wait till 5.0, convert my spare parts to credits, and use the credits to buy the equipment? Now, he looked at all the answers, he crunched the numbers, and he did it calculated on supply at tier X level. So the numbers may differ very slightly for those with lower supply levels. But in short, it is only going to be profitable for you guys and girls out there to equip tier 10 vehicles using spare parts as they are. Every single other tier of vehicle will be losing you credits, substantially so for lower tier vehicles. Even if you take into account the value of the 0 credit resupply camo you'll be given for unlocking 6 slots by looking at the tier by tier price of the Shattered Ice camo, it will still only be worth unlocking 6 on tier 9s, with tier 10s becoming vastly more profitable to fully equip. So guys, if that's not breaking it down completely, I don't know what is. And you can thank my good amigo Adam Clamp for that. Adam's a legend for crunching those numbers and figuring out what's what. So if you want a copy of that, I'll post it up on my Twitter feed. That actual screenshot of the Excel spreadsheet that Adam used to crunch those numbers, that Twitter feed is at Bushka on Blitz. Pretty straightforward, at Bushka on Blitz. If you can't follow that one, I can't help you. I'll also post it in the Telegram chat channel for patrons if you guys are interested in seeing that. Might even post it up in the patron only chat, and that way everyone can get a hold of that and figure out exactly what's going on. And I'm not, if you sent these videos in, I'm sorry if you aren't happy that they're not being the centerpiece of something, but thank you very much for sending them in, by the way, guys. I really do appreciate that. You can see there, that's Tiagi's boy. Very, very fine game there in the waffle tractor. Over 7,000, it's 7,400 damage, like amazing. Also, thank you to Rage Infuriate here in the T110E3 and Gavril Choi on the VK3001D video at the end. Now, I want to talk a little bit more about what this means for us as a community. Spare parts was bad enough, but the real thing that upset people was the timers. And it was a big negative for me with regard to the game for a couple of reasons. It was not something that I wanted in the game, but it wasn't something that anyone at Wargaming seemed to be willing to change. And I sat in rooms with people from Wargaming and had dinner with people from Wargaming and saw people from Wargaming at all kinds of events, and it was just, that was how it was going to be, and there was no way around that. So we moved on with life and we did our best. But there was two big things. One was grinding a tank is tough, right? You have to grind a tank, and for a lot of people, grinding a tank in limited time is difficult. And you grind up all the way to a tier 10 tank, and every step along the line is made a lot tougher when not only do you have to grind that tank, but you then have to grind the spare parts for that tank. And because you're competing with a tank that doesn't have as many spare parts, because you're saving them up for the massive, massive amount of spare parts required at tier 10, or you're unwilling to pay gold to just own a piece of equipment that you've had to pay for already by paying the spare parts for it, while you grind the tank, you ended up with tanks that just weren't, well, they weren't as good as same tier tanks that had all their equipment pieces unlocked, which was tough. And so you got lines, new lines especially, that Wargaming would introduce. And in the old days, a new line would get introduced and people would pay gold to free XP those lines. That's all there is to it. And that would obviously, you know, that is one way of getting up a line, using free XP. And that would then mean that on patch day, when a new tank came out, like I remember when the grill came out, there was grills everywhere, absolutely everywhere. When the 183 came out, there was all these 183s popping, and it was exciting. FV4202 came out, it was exciting to get to patch day, and everyone would get their tortoises and things and get out there on the battlefield, and you'd save your free XP for patch day, and that part of the game disappeared. It really disappeared, and that's unfortunate, because what were you going to do when you'd get your free XP, you'd get your new bat chat, and then what happened to me on Asia, on my personal account, is I saved up all my free XP. I got the new bat chat, and then I waited for all the timers to pop, and I didn't play the bat chat, and I still don't have many games in the bat chat at tier 10 on my personal account, because it was just too difficult. And that was a shame, and I feel like it really took a lot of the interaction of the community away. That's no longer going to be the case. Geez, these games are good. I mean, I've got 1,007, in fact, unread emails in my Gmail account right now, with replays on them. At least one replay on average in each email. And I just can't get to them. I mean, it's insane. The quality of gameplay that is coming in is absolutely insane. But I'm now going to be able to roll out that bat chat. I'm going to be able to roll out that T110E3. I'm going to grind up new and interesting lines because, hey, let's face it, I can now drive those tanks on an even footing with everyone else. And that's such a positive thing for us as a community, and I can't believe how long it's taken Wargaming to come around on this. But at the end of the day, guys, they got there. And I can tell you from personal experience now, being in Telegram channels with very old, jaded tankers who have not really played the game much for quite some time. For instance, in my Grump channel, this is the guys that I played with on the Asia server. Guys like Redback and Shame Equus and Ouija and Knight Rider and Richraff and all my old mates. A lot of them are like, okay, spare parts are gone. I'll come back and play. Legitimately, just, that's like 4 or 5 guys who have not played the game forever are like, well, spare parts are gone, timers are gone, I'll come back and play. And how about that? I mean, these are the most jaded, cynical, middle-aged grubs you're going to find. And they're willing to give it another look because spare parts are gone. It is phenomenal to me that it's taken us this long to get here. It really is. But it is also a testament to, like, I've done my research on this, guys. I've talked to people. I've sat in a room and said, with other people like Skate and just other YouTubers saying spare parts and timers are just so, everyone hates them. No one likes them. Like, they're a bad idea. No one likes them. And we never thought it was going to happen. We really, honest to God, never thought it was going to happen. No one did. No one thought this was going to happen. And it's such a pleasant surprise. It feels like Christmas. It feels like a surprise Christmas for everyone. Everyone's a winner. And like, this is so good for us as a community too, because people have always really objected and on general principle to paying for spare parts. And I know I didn't pay, like, if I won gold, great, I'd use that for timers, but I never went and bought gold for timers once. And it was never, ever something that someone said, oh, that's a great idea. That's a good idea. If you find me the person saying spare parts was a good idea and then saying timers was a good idea, and I'll eat my own legs, no one liked them. No one liked them whatsoever. And yet we put up with them because we love the game. Well, now we get the game we love, and we get it without the inhibition. We get the ability to grind the lines we love and equip them fully. Hats off, man. This is like the best ever. Not like, I hate using that term, but this is the best ever, hey. Okay, here's the thing. Wargaming say that the plans to rework equipment unlocks emerged as far back as Wargaming Fest 2017. It's been a while since the new equipment system was introduced. The game continued to develop and perform as planned. However, all tankers, including us, realise that timers and spare parts fall short of our expectations. They were intended to increase the value of equipment, making it one of the players' achievements and encouraging players to enter the game more often. Why did it take so long? Our previous change to the equipment system also took a lot of time, but the experiment with timer and spare parts was not as successful as it was intended to be. We took some time in the development of new changes because we wanted to avoid hasty decisions. The game development cycle also affected the amount of time required to implement a new version of equipment. Major changes are usually created 1 to 3 versions before their launch. The system with 9 paired slots is good. Spare parts and timers are not so good. I mean, hats off to them for illustrating the process and the thought behind it. And hats off to them for admitting, not just changing it, but admitting that it was a bad idea. And let's be honest, the equipment timer, the 9 paired slots equipment timer, has been fiddled with since its implementation, and it has been massively positive. Like, I cannot emphasize enough how on board I am with the 9 slots. It's so much better than the crap 3 slot equipment timers we used to have, equipment slots we used to have. So, look, there's going to be more stuff coming out this week. There's going to be lots of things. I'm going away on holiday. There's going to be lots of videos dropping. There's going to be live streams. It's going to all... I needed to get this off my chest and talk about how positive a thing this is and how I think this is the best thing Wargaming's done in a year. Like, it is the best thing since they broke it. Look after yourselves, guys. Stay safe on the battlefield. And until next time, bye for now.